Good evening. Millions of residents are tonight being warned it's their last chance to leave, with a tropical cyclone threatening one of our capital cities for the first time since Darwin in 1974.
In the vast expanse of the Coral Sea, a tropical low began to form, gradually intensifying into a formidable system that would later be named Cyclone Alfred. As it gathered strength, meteorologists closely monitored its trajectory, noting an unusual path that veered towards Australia's southeastern coast, a region unaccustomed to such powerful cyclones. Communities from Queensland to New South Wales found themselves in the projected path of this rare meteorological event.
Severe flash flooding right across the southeast corner.
I haven't slept since 7 yesterday, so I've been here about 3 times.
The
I think the
bustling
council
city
should
of
get their trucks here real
Brisbane,
quick.
home to over 2.5 million residents, faced the daunting prospect of its first direct cyclone impact in over 5 decades. The last time a cyclone had made landfall near Brisbane was in 1974, making Alfred's approach particularly alarming.
This looks like the most significant event
In
in our
anticipation
city
of
since
Alfred's arrival,
1954.
authorities sprang into action. Emergency services established sandbagging stations across vulnerable locales, including the Gold Coast, Noosa, and the Sunshine Coast, to help residents fortify their properties against potential flooding. The seas, agitated by Alfred's approach, exhibited significant swells, with wave heights reaching up to 4.87 meters in the Wide Bay region, leading to notable coastal erosion. The human element of this unfolding drama was epitomized by the plight of Aurimas Makis, a Lithuanian solo rower attempting to traverse the Pacific from San Diego to Brisbane. Caught in Alfred's tumultuous grasp, Makis found himself stranded, necessitating a daring rescue operation by the Royal Australian Navy. As Alfred edged closer to the coast, the gravity of its impending impact became increasingly apparent. The Bureau of Meteorology issued a cyclone watch spanning from Sandy Cape to Grafton, encompassing Brisbane, a precaution not enacted since Cyclone Oma's brief threat in 2019. Residents in flood-prone or low-lying areas were urged to relocate to higher ground or designated evacuation centers. Emergency services were on high alert, ready to respond to incidents ranging from property damage to potential rescues. Meteorologists warned of Alfred's capacity to deliver destructive winds reaching speeds of up to 155 kilometers per hour, accompanied by torrential rainfall that could accumulate to 800 millimeters in certain areas. These conditions posed a significant risk of life-threatening flash flooding, particularly in regions south of Alfred's Eye, encompassing tourist destinations from the Gold Coast to northern New South Wales. The federal government, acknowledging the severity of the threat, declared a state of emergency and mobilized the Australian Defence Force to assist with evacuation and disaster response efforts. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese assured the public of the government's preparedness, emphasizing the rarity of such an event and the comprehensive measures in place to mitigate its impact. As Cyclone Alfred edged closer to the coast, its western periphery began to lash coastal areas from Coolangatta to Ballina, heralding the storm's imminent arrival. Communities braced for the cyclone's landfall, anticipated to occur early on March 7th between Maroochydore and Coolangatta. The collective hope was that the extensive preparations and community resilience would withstand the tempest's fury, safeguarding lives and property from the unprecedented challenge posed by Cyclone Alfred. As Cyclone Alfred advanced towards Australia's eastern coastline, communities from Brisbane to the Gold Coast and northern New South Wales braced for its impact. Residents in flood-prone suburbs were urged to evacuate, with authorities emphasizing the potential for life-threatening flash flooding due to anticipated rainfall totals exceeding 800 millimeters in some areas. In Brisbane, a city of over 2.5 million people, the looming threat of Cyclone Alfred prompted extensive preparations. The government provided 250,000 sandbags to residents to protect low-lying properties and established cyclone refuge centers to accommodate those needing shelter. Schools, public transport, and non-urgent hospital surgeries were suspended to ensure public safety. The Northern Rivers region of New South Wales, including towns like Lismore and Byron Bay, faced heightened anxiety as the cyclone approached. Residents recalled the devastating floods of 2022 and took proactive measures to safeguard their homes and businesses. Sandbagging stations were set up, and emergency services were on high alert, ready to respond to potential rescues and property damage. The economic implications of Cyclone Alfred were also significant. S&P Global Ratings estimated that insured losses could exceed $2 billion, underscoring the storm's potential to cause extensive damage. Australia's largest property and casualty insurers were deemed well prepared to manage the anticipated claims, with strong capital adequacy to support recovery efforts. As the cyclone neared landfall, the Australian Bureau of Meteorology issued severe weather updates, highlighting the storm's projected path and potential impacts. Communities remained vigilant, relying on official communications to stay informed and prepared. In the face of this rare meteorological event, the resilience and unity of the affected communities shone through. Neighbors assisted each other in securing properties, volunteers distributed sandbags, and emergency services worked tirelessly to ensure public safety. While the full impact of Cyclone Alfred was yet to be realized, the collective efforts of these communities exemplified strength and solidarity in the face of adversity. As Cyclone Alfred advanced towards Australia's southeastern coast, its impact extended beyond immediate safety concerns, affecting various sectors and prompting widespread preparations. The aviation sector faced significant challenges as the cyclone approached. Airlines including Qantas, Virgin Australia, and Jetstar proactively canceled flights to and from affected regions, particularly targeting Ballina Byron Gateway Airport and Gold Coast Airport, both of which suspended operations due to safety concerns. Travelers were advised to monitor flight statuses closely and offered flexible rebooking options to accommodate the rapidly changing situation. Public transportation services also experienced interruptions. In Brisbane, CityCat and ferry services were suspended until further notice, and bus operations were halted to ensure public safety. Authorities emphasized the importance of staying updated through official channels regarding service resumptions. The looming cyclone triggered a surge in consumer demand for essential supplies, leading to shortages in items such as bottled water. Major supermarkets like Woolworths and Coles imposed purchasing limits on bulk water to prevent hoarding and ensure equitable distribution among residents. Despite efforts to restock shelves promptly, panic buying reminiscent of early pandemic behaviors posed challenges to maintaining supply levels. The agricultural sector braced for substantial impacts, particularly among cane farmers who were still recovering from previous flooding events. Industry representatives advocated for increased disaster relief funding, highlighting the financial strain on farmers and the necessity for enhanced support to rebuild and maintain community resilience. Additionally, the coal industry faced potential disruptions. Operations at New Hope's New Auckland mine and activities at the Port of Brisbane were under threat, with the port suspending large vessel arrivals to prioritize departures. The anticipated impact of the cyclone raised concerns about delays in coal exports and broader economic ramifications. Authorities issued comprehensive guidelines to ensure public safety. Residents were advised to secure their properties, prepare emergency kits, and finalize evacuation plans if residing in vulnerable areas. The establishment of evacuation centers, particularly in northern New South Wales, provided refuge for those needing to relocate from high-risk zones. The community's response underscored a collective commitment to resilience and safety. Neighbors assisted each other in securing homes. Volunteers distributed sandbags, and emergency services remained on high alert to respond to incidents promptly. This unified approach aimed to mitigate the cyclone's impact and safeguard lives and property. As Cyclone Alfred approached, the region's preparedness and adaptive measures highlighted the importance of community cohesion and proactive planning in the face of natural disasters.